He was supposed to be untouchable, the foundation of Deion Sanders' rebuild, the one position Colorado could not afford to lose. And yet here we are, because Jordan Seaton just detonated the transfer portal with one decision that may reshape the balance of power in college football. A 5-star left tackle, a projected first-round NFL pick, a player valued at nearly $4 million, walking away from Coach Prime's program days before the portal slammed shut. And before Colorado fans could even process what just happened, an NFL Hall of Famer jumped into the chaos and made his pitch loud, public, and impossible to ignore. Michael Irvin did not whisper. He did not make a phone call behind closed doors. He went straight to social media and fired a message that felt more like a recruiting bat signal than a casual comment. If you are going to leave my boy Deion Sanders, you might as well come see his boy, Canes football me. That single sentence changed the entire conversation, because this was not just about Jordan Seaton leaving Colorado anymore. This was about Miami, money, power, loyalty, and what college football has become in the era of nil and open bidding wars. And here is why this story matters more than you think. This is not just a transfer. This is a referendum on Deion Sanders' project at Colorado, a glimpse into how elite players now leverage value, and a reminder that legends like Michael Irvin still move the needle in ways most programs can only dream about. By the end of this, you will understand why this decision could ripple all the way to the NFL draft, why Miami suddenly makes terrifying sense, and why Colorado now faces its most critical offseason moment yet. Jordan Seaton was not just another recruit when he arrived in Boulder. He was a statement. Ranked as the number 18 player in the country coming out of high school, the number 1 offensive tackle in his class, and a top 5 player in the state of Florida, Seaton choosing Colorado sent shockwaves through the recruiting world. He announced his commitment on national television, on FS1's Undisputed, sitting across from Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, with Deion Sanders smiling like he just stole something priceless. That moment symbolized Coach Prime's promise. Colorado was no longer a rebuilding joke. It was a destination. Seaton backed it up immediately. He started every game he played. 22 starts. No easing in. No rotational snaps. He was thrown into the fire and held his ground. In the 2025 season, he posted an elite 83.9 pass blocking grade, according to Pro Football Focus. That number matters, because Colorado's offensive line as a unit ranked dead last in the Big 12. Think about that. The entire line struggled, but Seaton stood out as the anchor, the lone piece that looked like it belonged on Sundays. That is why this hurts for Colorado. Losing Jordan Seaton is not losing depth. It is losing identity. It is losing the one player you could build around while fixing everything else. Deion Sanders knew that. The staff knew that. And fans knew that. Which is exactly why his entry into the transfer portal on January 13th felt like a gut punch. Now here is where things get uncomfortable. The moment Seaton entered the portal, the conversation shifted from football to finance. Florida booster Hal Lewis claimed that the bidding would start at $2.5 million. Then Shannon Terry, the founder and CEO of On3 and Rivals, raised the stakes even higher, predicting Seaton could command close to $4 million. $4 million for one season. For an offensive tackle. That number is not accidental. It reflects leverage, scarcity, and the reality that elite left tackles are more valuable than almost any other position outside of quarterback. Seaton instantly shot to the top of the transfer rankings. Number 4 overall, according to 247 Sports. Number 1 offensive tackle in both the 247 and On3 rankings. Potentially the number 1 overall player available. And remember, this is likely a one-year rental. Seaton is expected to play one more season of college football before heading to the NFL, where he is widely projected as a first-round pick. That makes this even more fascinating. Programs are not investing in long-term development. They are bidding for immediate dominance. So when Michael Irvin spoke up, it was not random. It was calculated. Irvin is Miami Hurricanes royalty. A former Cane who understands branding, value, and star power better than almost anyone. He also understands timing. The transfer portal window was closing. The market was hot. And Seaton was the biggest name available. Irvin's public pitch did two things at once. First, it signaled to Seaton that Miami is open for business. Second, it reminded everyone else that Miami has the resources, the history, and the mindset to go get a player like this. Irvin even doubled down by quoting a post from Recruits CFB that explicitly stated Miami could be the odds-on favorite. The post said Miami always pays up for big-time tackles. That line matters. It reinforces a reputation that Miami has carefully rebuilt under Mario Cristobal. Cristobal is an offensive line guy at heart. His teams are built from the trenches out. Under Cristobal and offensive line coach Alex Mirabal, Miami constructed one of the best offensive lines in college football in the 2025 season. Physical, disciplined, NFL ready. Add Jordan Seaton to that group, even for one season, and you are talking about potentially dominant tackle play on both edges. And there is another layer here that makes Miami especially dangerous. They recently took a massive swing at quarterback Sam Leavitt in the transfer portal. That recruitment did not go their way. Leavitt chose LSU. But in this market, not landing a quarterback can sometimes be a blessing. It frees up resources. It shifts priorities. And suddenly, Miami can go all in on the most valuable non-quarterback in the portal. Miami also has history with Seaton. They recruited him heavily out of high school. They offered him. They wanted him. Losing that battle to Colorado stung. This is a chance at redemption. A chance to bring a Florida native back home. A chance to pair elite coaching with elite talent at the most important position on the offensive line. But do not ignore the other teams circling. Pete Nakos of On3 reported that Oregon and Texas have already emerged as early frontrunners. LSU, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, all mentioned. This will be a heavyweight fight. Every program involved understands the value of a left tackle who can immediately erase your biggest weakness. Now let's talk about what this means for Deion Sanders, because this is where the story gets complicated. Sanders and Irvin are close friends. They respect each other. They share a history. And yet, Irvin did not hesitate. That tells you everything about the current state of college football. Loyalty has limits. When a player enters the portal, all bets are off. Irvin made that clear. Once a player like Seaton hits the open market, everyone should take a swing. For Deion Sanders, this is a brutal blow during an already painful offseason. Colorado finished 3-9 in 2025. The roster needs reshaping. The offensive line needs rebuilding. And now the one proven elite piece is gone. That leaves a massive hole at left tackle and raises uncomfortable questions. Can Colorado keep top-tier talent long-term? Can they compete financially in the nil arms race? Can Coach Prime stabilize the program before the narrative flips? This is not about one player leaving. It is about perception. Seaton was supposed to be proof of concept. Losing him feeds the critics. It fuels the argument that Colorado is a stepping stone, not a destination. Sanders will respond. He always does. But the margin for error just shrank. And yet, there is another angle that makes this story so compelling. Jordan Seaton holds all the power. He can choose legacy. He can choose money. He can choose development. Or he can choose all three. Miami offers legacy and development. Oregon and Texas offer infrastructure and exposure. LSU offers SEC dominance. Every path leads somewhere different. Imagine Seaton lining up in Coral Gables, protecting a Miami quarterback behind one of the nastiest offensive lines in the country, with Irvin cheering him on and NFL scouts watching every snap. One dominant season could lock him into the top half of the first round. It could redefine Miami's offense. It could set up a championship run in 2026. And that timing matters. Miami is preparing for a national championship game against Indiana on January 19th. They are playing for a title right now. But elite programs never stop recruiting. They never stop planning. Adding Seaton would be a statement that Miami is not satisfied, that they are building an encore, not a farewell. So where does this end? Does Jordan Seaton follow the money? Does he return home to Florida? Does he choose a blue blood powerhouse out west or in the SEC? Or does Deion Sanders pull off the impossible and convince him to stay? Here is the truth. This decision will not just impact one roster. It will shape how future five-star linemen view Colorado, Miami, and the entire transfer portal economy. It will set a new benchmark for offensive line nil value, and it will remind everyone that in modern college football, stars do not just shine on the field. They control the market. So now the question shifts to you. If you are Jordan Seaton, do you chase the biggest bag, the best development, or the loudest legacy? And did Irvin just make the smartest recruiting move of the year without ever stepping into an office? Drop your take in the comments. Was Miami the right call for Irvin to make? Or should Seaton take his talents somewhere else? And keep it locked right here, because NFL Tactics will be the first to tell you how this decision changes the future of football.